Danny. Remember to pay me this week.
Yes, people, welcome back to Mission Podcast. It's another episode of the Combat Council. It's the UFC London preview this week. I mean, listen, that card, I'm not gonna lie, not a big fan of it, but there are some exciting fights on that card. So we'll be previewing that card. I'm joined by Craig and Luke. I mean, that's pretty much all we'll be talking about on this episode, but it could take a long time. We've also got last week's UFC card, which we'll briefly touch on, and then we've got some other pieces of news like Alex Pereira signing a fight contract. But we'll talk about that after we've talking about the fight. So, Luke, Craig, how are you, gents?
Not so bad, mate. Not so bad. I'm looking forward to this card, to be honest. I've just been looking through it then, and although there's not so many big names, there's some banger matchups on here, man. Do you agree?
100%.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I think it lacks the Paddy Pimblett, Tom Aspinall big names, but some of the fights, especially on the prelims, are really good. And I think the main card, we're looking at some potential big finishes. But before we get into that card, I just want to say the card last week or 2 days ago on Saturday in the Apex, that was one of the cards of the year. Absolutely phenomenal. Vallejos looked great in the main event. Harry Hardwick put on a war. Hopefully he gets well soon because that was a pretty bad injury, but he's made 100 grand, so that's not too bad. But yeah, getting into this card, let's get it cracking. Main event, Movsar Evelev and Lerone Murphy. Who do we see winning that, Danny?
I'm gonna say Evloev. I think I really like Lerone. I think he's a really good fighter. Last fight, I don't think he was winning the entire fight. I think Pico was getting the better.
I think he won 5 seconds of that fight.
And exactly,
Yeah, literally.
and that's what counted, and he got that win against a guy like Evloev. Could you see him doing that against a guy like Evloev? Potentially, you could see him just having that one moment where he knocks out Evloev. I don't think that's out the realm of possibilities, but I definitely favor Evloev. I think as an all-round fighter, he is a better fighter than Lerone Murphy. His striking ain't as bad as people say it is. I think it's blown out of proportion. I think people are comparing his striking like Paddy's. I think it's much better than Paddy's altogether. Much complete fighter. I think I don't think he's gonna have any issues taking down Lerone Murphy. I think he's gonna do it with ease over the 5 rounds. I don't see a finish. I don't think he's gonna finish him, but over the 5 rounds, I think he wins a pretty easy 49-46, potentially 50-45.
Yeah, I think I agree with that as well. I think Movsar, you look at his UFC record, he's fought some good guys. He's fought Lopes, Arnold Allen, and Aljo in his last few fights. And those are top guys. You're talking top 5 in the world. So he's proven he's right up there and he's beating all those guys. I feel like Lerone hasn't quite got that win against the top guy. He's got some okay wins, but not that quite level. Both these guys are decision merchants, so it's probably going the distance. I do favour Movsar as well. But I know someone who's not going to favour Movsar, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's time for me to jump in here, boys. I think, look, how I think this fight's going to go, yeah, I think we're going to get 2 or 3 rounds of Movsar just grappling him like bad, man. Like, we're going to see slams, we're going to see, double legs, we're going to see everything. But I think 3rd, 4th round, I think Lerone's going to clip him and knock him out. That's my prediction.
Think he's going to knock him out?
Yeah, I think late rounds, 3, 4, 5, he's going to knock him out.
Has Lerone got many knockouts? I know he knocked out Pico, but has he got many in general?
I think he's got 3 in the UFC, maybe 3.
I mean, we can have a look now. He's only got 1.
Yeah, I've always
no. Keep going down there. I think he's got a couple.
So he's got altogether the UFC
3
if you count Ramos, then Amikani, which was really early on, then a bunch of decisions here, and then he knocked out Pico.
You've got to think as well. He's dropped. I think he dropped Emmett, didn't he? He dropped Ige. He dropped Barboza, I think, a couple of times at least, didn't he?
He must have power then, yeah. Do you think Do you think he'll knock him out cold or like a finish, like a TKO against the cage on the floor?
I don't know. Either or, innit? Either or. I mean, we've seen Movsar get clipped, haven't we, quite a few times? So
yeah, I think Arnold Allen had him in a bit of danger, didn't he? That was a close fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think Evloev definitely has the advantage. If you're the more complete fighter, you're definitely going to have the advantage in kind of fight against Lerone Murphy. Pico was kind of a layup for Pico, and the UFC I think the UFC did want Pico to win, and Lerone Murphy did just rush the occasion and get the knockout. Which again, for them, 3 minutes and let's say 15 seconds, Aaron Pico was definitely in control, I think. And again, I think there's always that possibility with Murphy. He could definitely clip him or something. But I think Evloev overall definitely has the advantage to be Murphy, and I do expect him to win a comfortable decision.
Well, yeah, one thing I want to say about Movsar is him and Diego Lopez fought a couple of years ago. That was Lopez's UFC debut. Since that fight, Lopez has had 8 fights in the UFC. Movsar's had 2. So he's very, very inactive. He didn't fight for the whole of 2025. I think that's something that favours Lerone.
That's nuts.
Yeah. 8 fights to 2 to Diego. So that's why everyone moans about Lopez getting the title shot ahead of him. That's why, because Lopez fights way more. Obviously, he's a lot more exciting and got a bit more personality. But Movsar, he didn't fight for the whole of 2025, so he is going to have some ring rust. I think that does work towards Lerone's favour.
I also think the UFC ain't really a big fan of Evloev. His fighting style ain't really the kind of UFC actually want for their new, deal with Paramount.
He's not a finisher, is he?
Exactly, and the UFC are yearning for finishes in this day and age. Evloev is basically the opposite, but again, you can't knock that because he's really effective with what he does. I don't think his fights are relatively boring. I think he does really have,
they're
fun
good fights to watch.
Yeah, I mean, let's just pull his record up and we can see the fights he does have.
With Aljo, Allen, and even Lopez, they're all fairly competitive, even fights. Because when you get 2 top guys fighting each other, that's what happens.
Again,
he's been in the UFC a while as well. See, 2019.
Since 2019, and I'd say from Ige, Lopez, even Allen and Aljamain, the Aljamain standing was a really fun fight. I really enjoyed them.
But he's got 0 finishes in the UFC.
Yeah, which is a bit crazy. But again, he's just so effective with what he does. It's really hard to stop it. The closest I think was definitely Aljo. I think Aljo did come the closest to stop him. Some people will probably argue that Aljo did win that. Lopez had his moments, but in the other fights, Allen, I think that was on an early card in 2024.
Canada, yeah.
I think he won that. Ige, I think he easily won that, and the rest were pretty early on, and they weren't really high level opponents. But again, Aljo, Allen, Lopez, they all were in the top 6, top 7 in the UFC right now in the featherweight division. Are really good wins. So I think it's pretty evident that he will. I mean, the winner of this would definitely get Volk next.
Yeah, I think so. I wanted it to be Gene Silver first, but I think they're not going to have time for that now. I think they're just Volk's going to sit and wait for the winner. I think he said he's going to sit cage side, so that'll be cool to see Volk in London. But yeah,
what I will say while we're talking about Movsar is I think his striking definitely gets overlooked. I mean, he's got some good striking, man. Like,
didn't you put him in deep?
He did have Arnold in trouble a little bit, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
it's okay, but I don't really see it as that. It's just okay. He's not going to get any finishes there. It's more to set up the takedowns in the.
Yep, and I think Murphy has like a 3-inch height advantage in this fight. He's also probably a bit more flexible, I'd say. But again, when it comes to Evloev's offensive wrestling, it's really hard for Murphy to stop it, and that's the main thing. I think if Murphy somehow does stop that takedown from Evloev, we are looking at a really different fight. But I just think Evloev's so good at what he does, and it's practically impossible. Like, looking at anyone in the featherweight division, I can't see anyone who can really stop his takedowns.
Volk can. I think Gene Silver probably could too.
Volk probably can, but again, I mean, when we did our predictions, I did say the upset of the year would be Evloev beating Volk, and listen, that could probably be true. But again, yeah, I think, like you said, the champion in the division, one of the best fighters ever, is probably, I mean, he's definitely his hardest fighter in the division.
I mean, from what we've seen from Movsar, I think his takedowns are so good and his entries are so good. But if there's any weakness on the ground, he can't really hold people down. From what I've seen, like Arnold Allen,
he doesn't get submitted either, does he?
I mean, he slammed Aljo 3 or 4 times, but he didn't hold him down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would you say he's similar to Merab, as in you can't keep the person down? You have to keep getting more takedowns.
Yeah.
But again, his cardio is really good. We haven't seen him in a 5-round fight, have we yet?
I don't think so, no. This
will be the first time in the UFC that he's going to go the entire 5 rounds, and I do think he will go in the entire 5 rounds. I think he has the cardio. I don't think in any of his fights we've really seen his cardio tested. Lopez, maybe, but I still think he won that relatively comfortable there. But yeah, man, I mean, listen, it might not be the most exciting fight as a fan to look forward to, but I am really intrigued by who wins this. I definitely favor Evloev if he gets the job done. Volky Evloev is the fight to make.
Yeah. Well, I want to say quickly, there's a lot of guys commenting, some comments on the screen. Obviously, I don't have access to the comments. If you want to ask some questions, give us stuff to talk about. Feel free to ask whatever you want.
Yeah, it definitely helps us, interact with our fan base.
But co-main, this is a weird fight. I think it's definitely not a fight that MVP will have wanted, but it's the one he's got, and that is Sam. Oh no, that's not the co-main.
Is
Sorry,
that Luke Riley's the co-main? Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I got that wrong. I never get stuff wrong, but Luke Riley. So this is weird because the guy he's fighting, Aswell, is it Mike Aswell? I can't remember. But he lost to Bogdan Grad, the guy Luke Riley beat in his UFC debut. So there's almost like not really much of a step up, is there?
Yeah, I think the
I've
UFC.
never heard of this guy.
I think the UFC just want him to get wins on the board right now. Luke Riley, again, just looking at his record, he had his debut last fight for the UFC against Grad. And the first round, I'd say, was competitive, but in the second round, he did end up finishing him. And again, I can see a similar thing in this fight. Michael as well. I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to sit here and say I watched every fight of his, but I definitely expect Luke Riley to probably get another finish here.
Yeah,
sorry, Luke. Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, that first round, it was mostly Grad taking Luke Riley down, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was.
So obviously, I think they wanted to give him another striker, really, which I think as well is. So I think it's going to be a layup here, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
definitely.
This fight just comes across as Luke Riley. They're trying to build him up, give him a big spot. Paddy will be in his corner. Paddy will get the mic. He's a fucking featherweight Ilya Tapora lad. He's the fucking Scouts John Jones lad. That's what we're gonna have all fight week and after, and then they're gonna build him up as if he's this big star because he's undefeated, and that's what it's gonna be. But yeah, I think it's just that's all it is. It's just a squash match. Give him a bit of attention. So yeah, do we really need to talk about this fight much more?
Not really, no. I mean, I think we all are in agreement that Luke Riley will probably find the finish.
Yeah. So that's another thing you guys. I've been saying the Paramount era. It's always been a thing, especially now in Paramount. You got to build your brand. You got to be entertaining. That stuff always has mattered, and now more than ever.
Next fight, MVP against Patterson.
Would you say MVP is the biggest name on this card from a UK point of view?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he headlined the O2 before at Bellator, or was that in like the smaller arena?
He's headlined the O2, I'm pretty sure, for Bellator.
Was that in the like smaller arena? Was that? I think was it Mike Perry or somebody fought? One Mike Perry. That was bare knuckle. I can't remember which one. I can't see, but I'm pretty sure it was one he fought in the O2.
Does that Bellator London there MVP versus?
Yeah, he knocked him out first round. Right.
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if that was in the O2 or whether that was in like a smaller arena. But yeah, MVP. He's a guy who's been very effective.
The OVO.
Yeah. He's very effective at what he does. His striking works really well. However, it has been so boring to watch him in the UFC. I can't lie. Every fight's been eyeful.
Mate, I was doing a bit of study for this episode and I looked at his highlights against Shara, and it's like, oh my god, he spends fucking most of the fight just jumping up and down.
He just stands out of range and then clips them as they come in. It works, so you can't hate on him. He's made himself a millionaire, well, maybe not a millionaire, but he's made himself a successful guy from doing it. But it's so boring to watch. I remember that Ian Gary fight. Ian Gary's a legit top striker, and he was having problems with him. He had to take him down. So clearly it works, but it's just so bad to watch. And I think that's why the UFC are probably not giving him a top ranked guy, and I think that's why top ranked guys probably don't want to fight him. MVP. No, I don't think this fight should be main event. I think the Movsar and Lerone is definitely the bigger fight and it's a number one contender fight. So whereas this one, Sam Patterson's a good guy, but I don't think it should be main event now.
I'd say if MVP was in a higher rank or in a position for the next title shot, definitely. I think the UFC will be, because he's the biggest star, right? So they'll probably put him as the main event.
He's ranked at middleweight, and he's quite high. So you could have done a middleweight.
But again, I think he's not in the position of like an Evloev or Murphy, especially Murphy because he's, English based. That okay, if you do win your next fight, you're gonna get the title fight. So maybe if he was in that position, I would say yeah, perfect for MVP to get the main event. But I think Murphy was definitely the main event.
Who do you think's winning? Because Sam Patterson's on a bit of a streak, isn't he? He's a decent fighter.
Luke, I know Luke. Craig, I think you had Sam Patterson winning this, didn't you?
I do, mate. Yeah, I've got him. I've got Sam Patterson by sub. I've got a feeling, mate. I've just got a feeling he's on I think it's 4-fight win streak, 4-fight finish streak.
Yeah,
His grappling looks really good, and we've seen MVP, have some weaknesses there. So
Sam Patterson, since obviously his debut was an absolute horror show, he got knocked out and started trying to fight the ref. He was up, done. But since then, he's been on a pretty decent run, hasn't he? Yeah, 4 wins, 4 finishes. So again, I think they're all first round looking at that as well. So if you're getting first round finishes, the UFC are going to push you and they're going to give you big spots against big names. And clearly someone they're trying to give a good opportunity to. But I'm not sure who's going to win, to be honest. I'd favour MVP because I do really think he is effective. But as Craig said, on the ground, that's where his limitations are. And if Sam Patterson's this jiu-jitsu guy, then he could get the win.
I'm actually leaning with Craig. I'm not gonna lie. I think favor Sam Patterson to get the win. Don't get me wrong. MVP's done better in the UFC than I thought he would have. Right, like he has lost a fight against young Gary, but that his fights haven't really been entertaining, but it's been really effective, right? And
he's done well on there.
Exactly, and I didn't expect him to do that well in the UFC. I'll be honest with you. He has really impressed me. Sam Patterson, though, again, bought that first fight, which is now 3 years ago. He's really improved. I mean, all first round, submission, knockout. So I think this, if I was the UFC, I'd actually put this as the co-main. I'm not gonna lie. I think the potential of Sam Patterson and MVP, I'd make this the co-main. But again, I think the UFC know that with Luke Riley, they'll probably guarantee a knockout, right? So that's why they probably want to put him in that position.
If Sam Patterson's not brain dead, man, his game plan is just go in there and shoot. Just shoot.
It's hard to get takedowns on MVP, though, because he just moves around so much.
But look, we've seen people stand with him, and it just doesn't work, man. Sam Patterson has got the advantage on the ground. Like we've seen Ian Gary take him down like multiple times. Do you know what I mean? So
they're treating him like he's 25 years old. MVP. He's 38, and I mean, we fight on that TV. You do have a point. He's not really in the position, have a few more wins in this, because he's not really young. He's 38, and especially as a middleweight, I don't see him.
They're treating him like that because he wasn't ranked. So you can't just bring him in and give him a title shot. You've got to make him go through the rankings.
Obviously, yeah.
So that's why they're doing it.
I think Sam Patterson is a really good
2 minutes, lad. Sorry, one sec.
No worries.
Yeah,
and I think Sam Patterson is a really good test for MVP if he does get this done. I don't know who they can give MVP, but again, he's in the position to probably 1-2 fights before a middleweight title shot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. This is a welterweight, I think.
Welterweight title shot,
yeah. I mean, I don't really know. I haven't seen loads of Sam Patterson, so it's hard for me to talk. I'll go MVP just because I do rate what he's done in the UFC. What's the fight below this? Is it the Polish guy?
Let me just pull it up.
Or is it one? Yeah.
It is.
So this guy, what's his first name? Is it Iwo Barniski or something like that? I can't remember what his first name is. But this guy, he's had 7 fights, 7 finishes. Most of them have been in the first round. They might have all been in the first round, actually. They've all been in the first round. Yeah, that fight with Ivo Aslan was probably fight of the year. And that was the last card of the year, probably fight of the year. So this one's an absolute barnstormer. Austin Lane, I don't know how he's still in the UFC. He's a former NFL guy, and that's how he's made his name. But I think he's had like 5 fights and lost them all. He got chinned by Pinto, we'll talk about later. Chinned by one of the Taffa brothers. Every fight I've seen is just him getting knocked out. And I think that's why they've given the Polish guy this fight. It's just a layup for him to get a knockout.
Yeah, agreed. Basically what we said, Luke, I'll probably regurgitate you that. I do think he'll win and make it proper easy, I'd say. Like, that's what they put him on the main card. He's not really English, is it? But again, as a Polish guy who's got...
Yeah, it's a European card as well, I got to remember. It's not just UFC London, it's UFC Europe. But
let's go through these comments. I wouldn't say boring, but you're right, he hasn't finished anyone. Yeah, lol. Yeah, I mean, I don't really enjoy watching MVP, but he is effective.
I haven't enjoyed a single fight.
MVP headlines, it should be this one. It's basically a fight night card. True, but again, Murphy is in a better position to get a title shot. That's why I'd say the UFC did put him in that position instead.
Yeah, I mean, if MVP was fighting, let's say like Rob Whittaker at middleweight for a high ranking, then it'd be a fight night main event. But Sam Patterson's not a main event guy, is he?
Sam Patterson stands too upright and is live to be KO'd with a head kick. You heard it first. MVP fans will give Patterson's upright style too many issues. Potentially, maybe.
He has got power as well, MVP. He's like, even though he is a points fighter, he has got that knockout power and he has got some highlight reel KOs before. So he might be on to something, this guy.
Again, more analysis on Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson also
This
doesn't
guy
have
has
good
beef with Sam
takedowns.
Patterson.
He's an advantageous grappler and capitalizes on grappling after big shots or failed takedowns. You know what? That's actually true. Like every
I
time I
do.
watch a Sam Patterson fight, he's like the bigger guy, and he does take advantage if someone's took a big shot or fail a takedown. So yeah, listen, we
MVP's a
fight
hard
all,
guy to take down as well. Like you look at his
he is,
previous fights.
especially with how his stance is a really awkward stance to just
He
take
just
down
he
straight
moves
away.
around so much. So when he goes
Yeah.
against the cage, he switches to like moving sideways and he moves around off the cage so well. But yeah,
I don't want to compare him to Izzy directly, but the way they can stop takedowns.
it's
Again,
similar.
Izzy did used to get takedown all the way. Well, not always, but there were times people could find entries. But again, it was really hard to get into them entries purely because of how they stood and how they moved.
Yeah, right. Well, we're talking about the Polish guy, so back to him. I'm pretty sure he didn't fight in KSW, which is a bit weird because that's usually the route they come from.
Yeah.
And then Austin Lane, yeah, I don't know how he's still in the UFC. I suppose he's just a big name because he fought or he was in the NFL, but I'm just he's someone who needs to go, doesn't he?
Yep, and yeah, I expect this Barinowski to win pretty comfortably.
And then is Chris Leroy Duncan in there next?
I'm pretty sure he's next year. Let me just pull it up. Roman Dolidze against Leroy Duncan.
He's not that far from me actually, Chris Leroy Duncan. He's from Gloucester, which it's not far from me at all. But the guy, he's another finisher. Again, like I was saying, all these guys on the main card, they're finishers. He's had a lot of KOs. The loss to Robocop, Robocop's legit, so that's not a bad loss at all. Other than that, all KOs, and I think he got one decision or a couple of decisions there, but he's legit CLD. I think Dolidze now, he's an older guy. He's just there for someone to take his ranking. I don't really rate him that much.
I think Dolidze is a good test for him though. Like if you look at all the other fighters he's fought, there's no Gregory Rodriguez. I don't think there's been anyone else that we could say, okay, this is a really hard matchup for him. Roman Dolidze is a guy who did he win his last fight against Vittori?
Oh, I can't remember. They're both washed. I don't really care.
We'll check after this. But again, I do think if he wins this, he's put himself in a really good position. And that's kind of the theme of the main card. You've got a lot of fighters, if they win their next fight, potentially get a finish, they put themselves in a really good position for the UFC to capitalize.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, their guys are trying to build up who get finishes. All the guys we're favouring to win are finishers. That's the thing. And I think Chris Leroy Duncan, if he wins this... Yeah, if Chris Leroy Duncan wins, he'll be ranked and he's a finisher. So yeah, he's a guy. And then talking of finishers, if we go to the next fight at the bottom of the card, Curtis Campbell. Does anyone know his nickname?
Pink Panther.
Yeah. Do you know why it's a Pink Panther?
Because of his shorts, no.
Yeah. So he randomly, someone dared him to wear pink shorts, and then since then he's ran with it and calls himself a Pink Panther.
Oh, is that what it was? Was it a dare? Was it?
I think it was his dad or his brother. I can't remember. But either way, he's 23, 8-0. I think they're all finishers. He looks phenomenal. Didn't fight in Cage Warriors either. I think he fought in some other UK promotion.
No, he fought in FCC, full contact contender. I know a lad that fights in it.
Yeah. He went a different route, which is good. That shows his other paths. But this guy, another finisher, 8-0. You'd expect him to get the job done. Does anyone know much about him?
23, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't look like
I've seen him fight a couple of times. And he looks really good, man. Really good.
I saw a bit of the Contender Series fight, and he looked pretty legit then. And if he's only 23, he's got a while to improve. So he's a guy they're going to want to push.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched him enough to actually make a judgment on him, so I'm not going to sit here and say, the only fight I actually did watch was the Contender Series fight, and he looked really, really impressive in that fight. But obviously, the opponent, you have to take that into account. But yeah, I mean, the reason the UFC have fought this guy on the main card in his first fight with the promotion is probably saying that they definitely see something in him.
Yeah, I mean, does anyone know who his opponent is?
Did I miss any fights while I was gone?
Oh,
yeah,
he lost against Kevin Vallejos.
Yeah, that's not a bad loss.
Before that, I mean, listen, he's won 3 in a row, and then he lost to Kevin Vallejos again in a decision though. So it's not like he got finished by him.
So this
But
guy, he's had a few UFC fights, so he has got a bit of experience. He's not like a complete nobody. We'll go through some of the other fights on the card where some of the guys lower down have been given guys with like one UFC fight or none. So this guy has got a bit of UFC. He's won a couple fights, so it is a tougher test than.
And as well, he didn't get finished by Kevin Vallejos, so that's an achievement.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I went to decision.
So yeah, Curtis Campbell, bit of a not the easiest debut, but you'd still expect him to win. The fights you missed were, if we go up, it was Leroy Duncan v. Delice and Barnowski or something, the Polish guy v. Austin Lane.
Oh yeah, well obviously we know the Polish guy's going to win that one.
Yeah.
I think Austin Lane is going to get flattened badly.
Oh yeah.
And
Let's see the record.
Is he 38?
Yeah, bro. I think he has to get released if he loses against. I mean,
wasn't he a former like NFL player or something? This fella.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like it.
Why you say he looks like it?
Because he's built.
Oh no, the Spaniard, he beat him. That's quite interesting. That big Cuban taekwondo guy. Yeah. Other than that, just gets
Craig, you also missed
Delice and Duncan. Yeah, I said it on the chat, didn't I? I'm not sure about this one. Like, I do rate Duncan a lot, but Delice is unpredictable, man. But I don't know. I do lean Duncan. Obviously, I think Duncan will win, but I wouldn't be too positive on it.
Delice is getting on a bit as well, and he's 37 though.
Yeah, but again, I'm in a similar path to Craig where Duncan hasn't really impressed me in the UFC. There's a guy who can get the job done.
I've been impressed by Duncan, I'd say he's looked good and he's had some good finishes.
He has in a few fights, but again, he's also lost, 2-3 fights in the UFC?
Robocop is like a top fighter, though. He should be like much higher ranked than he is. He is like legit.
That's true too, yeah. But I think if Duncan does win, it will be by a knockout. I can definitely see Dolizzi grinding a decision win. I'm not gonna.
He could grapple him, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So he beat Kevin Holland. He like lied on top of him. Then Kevin Holland, did he like break his rib by accident or something? It was a weird one.
He beat Vittori and Kevin Holland back to back.
It was the end of the round. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony Hernandez absolutely dragged him around the cage. That was bad.
How was he actually doing against? Oh yeah, he got battered.
Like he was submitting him, just like dragging him back, choking him out. It was one of the most.
He got battered everywhere. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a tough one, but if I had to bet on someone, I'm not betting, man. I would go for Leroy Duncan.
Yeah, you can't bet during Ramadan, mate. That's a bit brutal. But yeah, I'd go with Leroy Duncan as well, and I'd go with Curtis Campbell.
That's the main card. So let's just go all our predictions for the main card. I'm going for Evloev by decision, Luke Riley by finish, Sam Patterson by submission, Baraniowski by finish, Duncan by I'm gonna say decision. I think he could grind a decision out here, and I'm going Danny Silva by decision.
Danny Silva, you think he's going to beat Curtis Campbell?
Yeah, I haven't seen enough of Curtis Campbell so I'm just going against the grain. I'm just going against the grain because I know you both are going to go for Curtis Campbell.
It's a bold shout, but I'm not mad at it either. Like, because we've not seen that much of Curtis, so I'm not mad at it. But
I get the logic.
Would be
Craig.
I'm going to go Lerone. I'm going to go Luke Riley. I'm going to go Sam Patterson. I'm going to go Iwo. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. And I'm going to go Duncan and Curtis Campbell.
Yeah. Obviously, guys who are watching, put in the comments who you think will win as well. I'm going to go for Movsar in the main event decision. Movsar. Then co-main, I'm going to go... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Co-main, I'm going to go Luke Riley. I think he'll get the job done there. Can you scroll down so I can see the fights?
Oh, yeah, I was just seeing the comments.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. I remember the fights anyway. I'm professional. I think MVP will win. You both gone with Sam Patterson. I go MVP on points. Polish fella, first round knockout. Duncan finish. And then I can't see because the comments hiding it. It's Curtis Campbell. I'll go Curtis Campbell. He'll win. I don't know if it'll be a finish or not because I think this might be a big step up.
We Fight All Night TV goes Austin Lane getting slept and sent to BKFC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how he's still in the UFC. There must be. I think he'd be good for one of those promotion though. You know, like RAF or Cage Warriors, like Karate Combat, something like that. BKFC. I think he'd be a cool name to have in one of those. misfits. Something I don't know.
He goes, I think Duncan dominates. I mean, I can totally see this happening.
Yeah.
Good breakdowns. That's up to you guys. We appreciate it. We fight on that TV.
Yeah, share. Make sure you guys watching it. You share it, retweet the tweet, sort of send it to your mates. Comments help a lot. Likes help a lot. Sharing it around. So just help get more people there. If you like the breakdown and you want other people to enjoy our quality content.
And he's going for Evrev, Riley, MVP, and Duncan.
Fair enough. Should go to the prelims then.
Yep. Luke, you can take stage with this.
Yeah. So Welsh MMA at the moment's not really flying at the moment. We've got 0 ranked fighters in the UFC, but Mason Jones is definitely our sort of flagship fighter and the one I see with the most potential. So sort of as I said when we were breaking it down before, this guy, he comes from a judo background. He was in the Welsh judo team, so he's got really good takedowns. If you watch his fight with Oki in Paris, he was flinging him around. Some of his takedowns were insane to watch. But he also comes from a gym in Celtic Pride where they've got a great MMA team, but I think they're probably the best Muay Thai gym in Wales. So he's got the judo background and he's got the great striking background. You see some of his fights, he uses his elbows really well. So it's a really tough fight for him. The guy's fighting was champion in Aries. I think he's quite big for the division. It's a tough fight. This is definitely not a foregone conclusion. And I think the winner of this will probably fight in the rankings next. But I'm going to back Mason Jones. I think he's going to get the job done. I think he'll get a finish, and I'm looking forward to it.
How do you think Mason Jones has done in the UFC so far, as an overall?
So basically, he had a run like a few years ago where he was in the UFC and he had like a win and a loss and a draw, and he wasn't great. He lost to Ludwig Klein in London. I was actually at that fight. So if you go back where it says Mike Davies, yeah, you see the
The thing is, though, the UFC, what the UFC love about this guy, he just puts on bangers, man. That's why.
But I think with his UFC career, so as you see, he had those 4 fights there and they didn't go great. But he went back to Cage Warriors. He ran through Cage Warriors. I don't think he got the belt back. I think he was champion. Yeah, he was champion before the UFC. But when he went back after the UFC, he didn't fight for the belt. But he put on great fights, really entertaining. But since coming back against Stevens and Oki, he's looked really good. His strikings look good. His takedowns look good. He absolutely dominated Jeremy Stevens, battered him.
Was Oki the one that dropped him early?
Yeah, so Oki dropped him in the first 40 seconds, and he did well to recover from that, and then he just absolutely pasted him. He was some of the takedowns he was landing, but yeah, he looked good. I don't know loads about his opponent. I just know that he's undefeated, and he was a champion in Aries for a while, so it's a tough test, but I think he'll get it done. It's hard to say because I don't know his opponent though.
He did impress me against Oki. I think that was on the Paris squad, right?
Yeah,
it was Imavov against Beraldo. It looked really good, that fight. As an overall fighter, I think overall he's really, really talented. And like Luke said, I don't really know much about his opponent, but I think Mason Jones will get the job done.
His opponent could be really good though, so I don't know. What I want to say is
I've got Mason myself. I think by decision. I think it's going to be a war, but I think Mason will get it done.
Yeah, you see Solar, he's undefeated. But I want to say quick about, as we're on the topic of Welsh MMA, there's a couple of guys I want to shout out. Also in Aries, so this guy Axel Solar was champion. There's a guy, the current featherweight champion is a Welsh guy called Josh O'Connor. I think he's 10-0. I think he's about 27. But he's someone I think will probably be in the UFC. He's someone to watch out for. And I hope he gets a contender series shout or whatever in the next couple of years. And then also
What's his name, Luke? Sorry.
Josh O'Connor. I actually briefly know, well, I won't say, but I've met him on an occasion. I won't say what, but and then another guy who actually trains with Mason Jones is a guy called Ryan McKenzie, who's a 6-2 bantamweight, but 6-2 the record, not height. He should be 7-1. He's fought in Cage Warriors. He's fought in Ilias Toporia's promotion. He's only 25. I think he's another one. So those two, Ryan McKenzie and Josh O'Connor, they're two to watch out for. But I think Wales has got a good amateur scene at the moment. I think so. Maybe in 10 years we'll have some good fighters, but at the moment it's a bit dry.
Is Mason Jones your best hope?
Yeah, he's definitely the best. Because now Jack Shaw's still only 31. If he was still fighting, I think at bantamweight he looked like he was going to be a top contender, but he couldn't make bantamweight. And then when he went up to featherweight, he sort of, he just wasn't big enough for the weight. But I think now he's gone. I'd say Mason Jones is a flagship fighter. But other than him and Oban Elliott, the cupboards are a bit bare at the moment for us. Obviously, Corey McKenna is no longer in the UFC. She went to GFL, but that didn't happen. Oban Elliott obviously has lost a couple fights as well. You got Josh O'Connor, as I said, is probably the next best one, and he's not in the UFC, but there's not a lot else. Brett Johns just retired too. So Welsh MMA, the pro scene isn't thriving, but I know that Celtic Pride, Shore MMA. There are some good gyms in Wales, and the amateurs seem to be doing okay. So I think maybe in 10 years we'll be doing all right.
Do you think
I was going to say I was surprised not to see Open on this card, but he only lost in, was it January or December?
February, I think. It was February, yeah. It was February the 1st. It was the Australia card.
Oh, Vok Lopez called you.
Oh, was it?
I think
yeah.
Oban always fights on pay-per-views, though. I think they see him as a potential star, so they put him on the pay-per-views. But because he's lost a couple fights now, he might have to fight on a fight night because he's going to be fighting for his career in his next fight, probably.
Could you guys see the size advantage in this fight playing a part?
But they're the same size, aren't they?
No, I mean height-wise. Like he's much bigger.
Where's the height?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah.
Much bigger. So could you see that playing?
Jones is big though. Like he's a thick guy.
When you look at Mason Jones, man, you don't think he's a lightweight, like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
He's not short for lightweight either. He's about the same height as like Islam, sorry. If he was the same height as Ilya, he would be short. But he's about 5'10" if he's 178, probably like 5'10", yeah. So he's fairly tall, but he is fucking wide. But yeah, as you say, Axel Solar, I think he's 6'3" if I remember. So that could help. But they got the same reach.
6'3".
Yeah. That's Jalen Turner.
1.88. He's big, yeah.
Apparently they got the same reach though. I don't know if that's true.
I mean, that can definitely be true, to be honest. You can have small arms and just be lanky.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if their reach is the same, but still, if you're punching upwards, you've got to punch a bit further. So,
Luke, what way do you think Mason Jones approaches this fight?
Well, I don't know anything about his opponent, so it's hard to say. But I'm guessing he'll start on the feet like every fight does. He'll try and strike with him, land some elbows and knees in the clinch, and then he'll probably end up. Because he comes from a Muay Thai and a judo background, he'll probably try. He likes to clinch. He likes the knees and elbows, and then you can get some throws off and some takedowns. So you won't want to stand at range point scoring. You want to be in the pocket and in the clinching range, which is why he's exciting to watch.
Yeah. So we're all going Jones on that one, yeah.
If the guy's 6'3", that probably means he's not going to be that strong. He's going to be quite like lanky and wiry. So you would think Mason would have the strength advantage.
Yep. Who are you guys going for this fight then?
Yeah, Jones.
Yeah, Jones.
Next fight. I'm looking forward to this fight.
Man, this is the one, man. This is the one. This is the one I'm most excited on the card by far. By far.
Craig really talk about Wood.
What did you say? Sorry, Danny.
You said you like talking about Wood.
I said Wood.
He's easily my favourite English fighter by far. Oh, he's so good, man. Like he gets underrated so heavily. But the difficulty is with this one. Like, obviously, we've never seen Cater in the UFC. I've seen 2 of his fights in Octagon, and he does look really good. But it's just a different level, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we saw with Shamrock when he came to the UFC that obviously Sham wasn't champion and he wasn't the level Cater is, but it is just such a big jump up. And Nathaniel Wood's not some like debut guy. He's had like 10 fights. He's been in the UFC for a while, so he's a UFC veteran now. So as debuts goes, this is pretty tough. But the UFC wouldn't have given him to Wood if they didn't think he was capable. And as you say, he looked really good in Octagon. It wasn't a case of like Shamrock when he was fighting guys sort of lower down the rankings. He was fighting for the title, and those two were actually supposed to fight for the title. But obviously, they're in different weight classes.
Who was it that Cater was scheduled to fight on his debut? Was it Pitbull?
Pitbull, yeah, Pitbull. But he missed weight because I think he was lightweight champion in Octagon because him and Shem were going to fight for the belt, and now they're both obviously here. But it's hard to say who's going to win because I don't know much about Cater. I'll lean towards Cater because I don't know, he's younger and he did look good in Octagon, but I think he's got the highest ceiling out of the two of them just because we haven't seen him yet or haven't seen him sort of lose too much yet. But Wood's a good fighter.
The only thing that's concerning me a little bit is the size difference. Keita's a big guy. Like I've seen him up against like Shem and like when they faced off, and I've seen him in the cage. He's a big guy,
yeah.
And Wood's obviously a former bantamweight. So that's the only concern I've got. And Cater can hit hard, but skill wise, I think Wood has got it, I would pick Wood. I
think Wood's done the same thing Jack Shaw did, where they were doing well at bantamweight, but the weight cut was probably a bit too much, so they've gone up to featherweight, but they're not quite featherweight size. They're too small for featherweight. They're too big. They're sort of in the middle, and it's just easier to go up a weight class, cut less weight, especially if you're in Wood's position now, where he knows he's not going to fight for a title. You might as well just take fights at featherweight. You'll get paid the same either way. So I think you would favour Cater because I think he's got more on the line, hasn't he? Whether Wood wins or loses, he'll be getting paid the same. He's not going to be in title contention. He's just here. It's just his job. Whereas I think Cater does have potential to go on and fight at the top of the rankings.
I really like watching Nathaniel Wood fight. One of my favorite British fighters right now. Probably my favorite, to be honest. The thing about Wood is he can be leading a fight pretty comfortably, and then he'll just get chained, and then he'll be having to climb his way up to get that win. And normally he does find that win, like he does scrape them decisions, which just shows how good he is because he can go down and still get that win. With Keita, though, I haven't watched him enough, so I'm not going to sit here and say, I watched a lot of his octagon fights. I probably favour Wood. I think I can definitely see Wood winning a close decision here, maybe at 29-28. With Keita, though, with the fights he's been given, Pitbull and Nathaniel Wood, you can see the UFC do see something in him. They do want him to get a few wins and quickly get ranked and maybe, push him. I mean, he's relatively young, 28. They do see some potential in him. But again, I think Nathaniel Wood is that kind of fighter to get that upset and actually be Keita here. So I'm going to go for a Wood decision.
Can we just put it out there now, by the way? Like, obviously, Dana White's not going to see this, but if Nathaniel Wood wins this fight, he needs to get ranked, man. Like, it's about time.
So I know you love Wood, but I think I agree with you. Yeah, he's definitely been given tough fights in the end. What I will say though is, people think that unranked fighters, like if you're fighting unranked people, it means they don't rate you. There is a ranking amongst the unranked fighters. So the UFC will see this fight and Mason Jones's fight. They'll see these fights as higher up than like Shamrock, who we'll talk about in a bit. So even though he's not been given a ranked fighter, they probably rate Cater similar to the ranked fighters anyway.
Yeah.
I just think Cater's just going to play with Wood on Saturday. I think Cater's going to play with Wood in the cage in front of everyone.
Okay, you said it once.
No, I get it. Like, Wood's obviously hard. He's very he's quite small, but
all right, should we move on to the next fight?
Let's go to the comments.
I think
says Solo's got that one punch power and southpaw angles, but he's only got one UFC fight to his name. His grappling could be the difference if he can get this to the mat.
Solo fought in the UFC.
Has it?
That guy said he's only got one UFC fight. I didn't realize he fought. I think he might have fought in Contender Series.
Oh, he might have meant the Contender Series. Yeah. Oh no, he has fought. He fought on the Paris card against Reece McKee, and he knocked him out.
Oh yeah,
in the third round.
Remember Reece McKee fought Hamzat. Oh my days. I think it was Reece McKee, and he lost it. He is southpaw. That's a good point.
I need to watch film on some of these prelims. Yeah, I don't.
You need to watch Wood. I'd recommend watching Wood. I watch a lot of films on Wood.
Next one, Matthew Bale. Wood was originally scheduled to face headliner Lerone Murphy back in 2023, but had to pull out with an injury after some heated words between them.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't know this was true, until
I remember that. Yeah, it was in like a hotel or something, or a lift. And they had a bit.
They used to be pals back in the day, but yeah, they had some beef. And then they got scheduled, and I think it was Wood that pulled out, but I'm not positive.
I can't remember, but
I'm glad they didn't fight. They were scheduled to fight on, I think it was 286. The Leon Usman free card.
Oh yeah.
I think it was
in London. Their fight.
Lerone ended up fighting that Gabriel Santos.
Yeah, I remember.
I remember it was a London card they were supposed to fight on.
Yeah, it was the same card. It was a Gaethje v Fiziev as well, where Gaethje won.
Yeah. So you two are saying Wood wins.
Yeah.
And I'm saying Cater plays with Wood. I think. Yeah, that's my prediction. Cater's going to play with Wood.
The next comment says, "Do you guys bet Craig, Luke, or this is all down to you?"
I do. Yeah, I do.
Do you guys want to put some of your bets down for the weekend?
I've got a big acca, but I don't bet. I invest. This is going to win.
Here we go.
I've got right 100 quid returns 450, and in the acca I've got the Polish fella, Chris Leroy Duncan, Luke Riley, Curtis Campbell, and then there's one more. I can't remember who the other one is, but there's 5 of them. If they all win, I get 450 quid off 100 quid, so it's quite good.
Who's going to let you down? Do you have any predictions?
Well, yeah, you said Curtis Campbell. I think any of them could lose. Curtis Campbell could lose. I think Luke Riley could lose. Actually, no, he might. Polish guy probably won't. Who else? Chris Leroy Duncan could. So they're all risky fights. Oh, I got Pinto as well. So
So
they're all risky fights.
I'll go through my one, right? I've got Luke Riley, Sam Patterson. I've got Iwo Baraniowski. I've got CLD, Nathaniel Wood, Mario Pinto, Curtis Campbell. I've got 20 quid on it and it returns me 617.
Oh, that's not bad. But that's if Sam Patterson wins. I'm guessing he's the underdog, right?
Yeah, he's quite a big underdog as well, I think.
Yeah, so that's where. Oh, I didn't bet on that fight because I think Sam Patterson's good odds as an underdog, but I don't like betting on good value underdogs because I still think they'll lose, if you get what I mean.
Key to Maryland, early shots, but Wood's volume and composure will vary down in the championship rounds.
Yeah, well, championship rounds, no, but I do agree with his sentiment.
I think Wood could land some shots as well. You know, Wood could fire some shots, especially if he takes the back of Cater.
I'm waiting for the props to be released. I want to bet by MVP, by KO. I know it's going to be plus money.
That's not a bad shout.
It'll definitely be plus money, but I mean, and it could happen as well. We've seen Patterson get chinned.
This next fight, Mario Pinto, shout out, Craig's boy against Felipe Franco. Craig, you can take us through this fight.
There's not much discussion here, boys. It's Pinto KO, isn't it?
Did you see what I put in the chat about his opponent?
Yeah, look, we're not going to talk about that on this podcast, Luke.
Danny, as the editor, could you get up whoever Franco, whatever his name is, could you get up his Tapology? Because I don't know if the UFC know this or if Tapology know this or whoever does the sanctioning. This guy is literally a fraud. No, not that. I get his Tapology. So
Luke, when you said Mario Pinto's opponents, did you just mean this one?
No, this one here, right? Go on his Tapology.
I thought you meant all of his opponents.
No. I'm on about this guy. Go on his Tapology.
Let me load you up.
Yeah, because you want to see So this guy got to the Contender Series 8-0. 7 of his wins, those opponents had never won a fight in their career before. So he got to the Contender Series beating one guy with a win on their record. 7 of them were 0-0, 0-2, 0-5. Only one of them had won a fight before. Goes on the Contender Series, loses, got finished. So then he gets sent back to the regional scene, bought 2 more cans, and now they've given him a UFC fight. Go through his fights before the Contender Series. You'll think I'm joking. Look on the record on the right. Owen, I can't even read them, but I can just see loads of O's.
0-0, 0-2, 0-0, 0-2, 0-0. And his first actual win came against Santos, who 19-16, which is really awful anyways.
Exactly. Then go up. You'd think after 19-16, he might fight another good guy. 0-1, 0-0. Then he somehow managed to get to the Contender Series. Got finished there. So he gets sent back to the regional scene. Fights 2 more cans. His most recent fight, the guy had a record of 1-1. And now somehow Dana White's seen this and given him a contract. I don't know if there's no other fight.
Luke, you're actually cooking it. How's he beat somebody that's 1-1 and then got a Contender Series fight?
No,
Contender Series fight. He's got fucking...
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How has no one noticed this? Like, the UFC must have seen this. And what it is he's 10-1, and his 10 wins are all in the first round. He's fighting cans. So when Pinto beats him, or not even when he beats him, when this guy walks to the cage, they're going to go, he's dangerous. He's 10-1, and they're all in the first round. He's a finisher. No one's going to mention that 8 of these guys, or is it 7 of those guys, have never won a fight before, and then one of them's 1-1. So we have undercovered a guy who's fighting illegitimate fights. And Tapology, usually they flag fights if they're illegitimate. I think Dennis Ringpong, one of his fights got flagged. How none of this guy's fights have got flagged when he's in the UFC is ridiculous. And we've seen it before where people managed to scam their way to the UFC back in the day where they've made up fake promotions and stuff like that. But this is just ridiculous. He literally fought on the Contender Series. So they know who this guy is. Yeah, Pinto's going to smoke him, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I had no idea before you actually mentioned that.
Yeah, clip this and put this all over social media because I'm on an expose mission. Yeah, I can't believe I've not seen a single person mention it either. I know this isn't one of the big fights, but how this guy is on a UFC card, because I know it was a short notice replacement, but he's literally scammed the contract. Like, he's fought actual cans. Like, us 3 combined, well, I don't know. Technically, I've got a win on my record, but professional-wise, we have the same amount of wins as 70% of his opponents.
That's crazy. But back to Mario Pinto. 100% gonna win this. This was meant to be Mick Parkin, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But obviously, Felipe Franco stepped in, which is
Also,
just
right.
a layup.
Does Pinto know this about his opponent? Like,
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's been through his record and seen who he's
Yeah.
fought.
Because obviously Craig's friends with him and Stuart Austin. They must have I don't know if the UFC have noticed it, but like they must have noticed it if they're doing breakdowns on him. Like this guy.
I'll actually ask I'll ask Stuart after the pod because he wouldn't mind telling me. Like, but he'll definitely know. They'll both definitely know. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you just go on as Danny pulled up, if you go on this website, it just says the names of his opponents. When you actually look down the records, and most of those guys, when I looked at them individually, most of them that was their final fight or one of their final fights. So it's not like these are guys who have gone on to have careers after. So yeah, I mean this is just ridiculous. But Pinto, yeah, let's talk about the positives. Pinto's undefeated, 11-0. He's had finishes. Is he had finishes in both his UFC fights? Austin Lane and Dintz, I think.
Pretty
Are they
sure.
his own? He finished them both.
Yeah, has he not fought 3 times? No.
I can't remember. I think he fought in the Contender Series.
Oh yeah, Contender Series. Then he finished both his UFC fights.
Yeah. So he got a finish on that. So he's clearly in form. Young guy, talented, definitely a potential prospect and someone to watch out for. I think he's going to absolutely run through this guy, and then people are going to see how bad this guy is and go, "How the hell is he in the UFC?" And then they'll see this podcast and go, "Yeah, plus 600, yeah." It should be like plus 2,000. Honestly, I bet the house on Pinto unless something dodgy's gone on. But yeah, perhaps this guy's got to the UFC as like some sort of gambling thing. I don't know. Obviously that's a silly allegation. I'm not being serious, but I just don't get how it's like happened that someone with that record can get to the UFC. I know the heavyweight division, the cupboards are very empty. There's not a lot of guys going around, but they must have been able to get someone, even just sign Almeida back or something. You know what I mean?
Listen, every time I watch Pinto, which has been 2 times, he's looked really good, and he reminds me of Curtis Blades in a really good way. That he just so complete, and I guarantee he could probably beat half the guys in the top 10 right now. You put him there with them guys.
I think the top 10's decent.
I think Tuivasa, Derek Lewis. You put him against these guys. Spivak, I think he beats them. I'm not gonna lie.
Tuivasa and Lewis are hopeless. They're rubbish. But I think the top 10's okay, or like top 8, but then the rest of the rankings it is a bit thin. Well, not thin, they're a bit fat, but skill-wise it's a bit thin. And I think Pinto, yeah, he's definitely... Mick Parkin was someone who's ranked, and if he had won, he'd have been in the rankings. I think they'll probably rebook that fight maybe, or maybe not, because that was a London card. But yeah, Pinto's definitely way above this guy's level, and he should definitely... he should definitely be fighting in the rankings next.
Luke and Craig should probably answer this question. When do the release?
Normally, so for the big cards, they'll have like the main event and co-main. They'll announce the props for this kind of card few days before, I imagine, for the lesser fights. They'll want to get as much info as possible before they release them. They'll have other events to focus on. So the way bookies works is they'll make sure like when those odds go live, they're correct.
What were you asking them, Danny? Did you start asking me a question?
Yeah, just the comment on screen when did they release the props?
Oh yeah. Well, as in props, as in what? Sorry.
Like finish, like bookies.
Yeah. Well,
because in the UK they normally
365 and Sky Bet yesterday didn't have finish lines. It was just straight win or lose.
Yeah, that's normally the case, and then they wait until a couple of days before, unless it's like a big title fight. But we'll see. Usually the odds are pretty good, but I bet on if I do bet, it's Bet365. They offer the best odds and they offer ACCA boosts. So if you are going to bet with them. No, I'm not paid to say that, but yeah. And if you lose all your money, it's not my fault. It's your fault for being stupid.
Also, bet carefully.
Yeah,
well,
I'll see.
A clue who either of these guys are, so I'm going to stay out of this one.
Me too. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, no clue with you.
I don't really know who he is. I'm pretty sure the
UFC before?
No,
debut.
Yeah, I know he fought in Cage
Warriors. Was Tricoli with one of the women in the UFC?
I think so, yeah.
He was.
I know he's 6'5".
Was it Mackenzie Dare?
On the UFC, was it? Yeah, he's lost every fight. Wow, this is a layup. I mean, if you lose to go, oh my days, you must get cut right there. How do you lose to go?
I've seen him fight. I know who he is now. Yeah, he's brutal. Oh
my days, yeah. I mean, let me try to pronounce the other guy's name. Kondratavic, how you pronounce it? He has to win this. He absolutely has to win this. He can't lose to Tricoli. That record makes me laugh flipping hell.
Yeah, he's 8-1 and he's a home fighter because it's a Europe card. I think they're looking to give him a big win, and what it'll be is because this guy's 6'5" Dracoli, he looks like he's good. He's a good-looking lad. So when he beats him, it looks like a more impressive win. It's kind of like the Austin Lane one, where they get these guys who look like fighters, but their records are terrible and whatever. Oh, you asked because you're in New York. Well, use MGM. Yeah,
Okay,
well,
trips to Vegas.
I have what's it called? I have got some sort of experience / beef with an American bookies company. I won't say which one, but use MGM because it's not MGM.
Yeah,
I think
like I
they're
said,
rivals.
it is fun these trips to Vegas. So listen, I hope you make a good amount of money this weekend.
Yeah, good on you. Good on you, mate. I hope you absolutely annihilate the bookies, but obviously be sensible. I think the London card's always really good to bet on, as we saw with this fight and some of the main card fights. There's a lot of fights where they're laying up prospects to beat shit people, basically. I think, yeah.
This next one, Sutherland against Perisic.
I think the bookies have Perisic as a favourite.
Is Louis Sutherland the one that looks like Fatso?
Yeah, he trains with Stuart Austin as well. The Vanilla Gorilla is nickname. That is my favourite nickname.
I know that by now.
Yeah. Well, I was unlucky one day he got submitted. Yeah, the Vanilla Gorilla is probably the best nickname there is, and he's got quite an insane build. He's an absolute tank, so good on him. He seems like a funny guy as well. I've watched some of Mario Pinto's vlogs. I say some. I watched one, but he was in it, and they seem quite funny. So good on him.
Who do you guys win this?
I know nothing about Perisic. I saw the bookies have him as favourite. I'll go with Sutherland just because he's a British guy, but that's not really a prediction. That's more of who I want to win.
Yeah, same with me. I think Sutherland. I've only seen Sutherland fight, never seen the other guy, so Sutherland.
Yeah.
Going to have two main bets, with one with MVP by KO and one with MVP by decision, depending on the odds.
I mean, why don't you just bet a joint one where he either wins by KO or decision?
Like a double chance.
Yeah. I guess perhaps you could put a different amount on each one, maybe. But
I wouldn't go all in on MVP personally, but no problem. Have a little spread on him.
I'm guessing you're a big MVP fan, mate, because a lot of your comments.
Yeah, he seems like it.
I think he'll probably win though, so he might be right. Well, what's the next one? Oh, here he is. Go on, Craig's best mate. You tell us all about him, Craig. Actually, he's not just Craig's best friend. He's also your mother's favourite fighter, apparently. That's what he's been calling himself on Twitter.
Well, I don't know anything really about his opponent. He fought, who did he beat on the Contender Series? Hardwick, wasn't it? George Hardwick.
Yeah.
And I did see the highlights, but that's it. So I don't really know much.
I mean, he's 0-1 in the UFC, so Sham. This is right at the bottom of the card. Whoever loses this is on very thin ice, probably gone. I didn't see this other guy's fight.
Wait, he's not fought since March 24.
Yeah.
2 years.
It's basically the easiest opponent Shem could get, if we're being honest.
Shem has to win this. Like, he absolutely has to win this.
If he loses this bad and doesn't look great, he's in trouble. Like, he's in trouble because there's not much away where they can. I think
he'll be gone if he loses it.
Yeah.
Listen, the UFC actually gave him a really tough fight for his first fight. That guy is really talented, and that's like a nightmare matchup they could have given him. I think Shamrock just wanted to, have his debut as soon as possible, and on that card. Yeah. Fair enough, but the opponent, it was really, really good. This is the kind of fight he has to win.
Yeah, the problem with Shem is, I think because of his sort of past when he was younger, I'm not sure if he'll be able to fight in America because I think he obviously he's had trouble with the law and stuff. But that's his old life. He's past that. Everyone has a past. But I think it makes it hard for him to get on fight cards. So he's had to fight in Qatar. Now he's fighting in London. I don't know if that's true. I'm just assuming. But if it's hard,
I think you'd probably be right on that, Luke. You probably struggle with a visa.
Yeah, and we've seen it before where Lee Murray had the same thing back in the day. And obviously Lee Murray was a much bigger criminal and stuff. I'm not comparing them crime-wise. But in terms of if it's hard for them to book him and it's hard for them to get opponents because most of the opponents are based in America and he's not winning fights, they're probably not going to keep him around because being mates with Paddy and being funny and having a good backstory, it does help. But at a certain point, it's like risk v reward for them, sort of cost v benefit. And I think, he has to win this. But it is a fight I think he can win. I'm not saying we're talking as if he's already lost. I think he could win this fight. I think the bookies have it as 50-50. So he could definitely win, and the judges might give it to him as well.
Shamrock stole my cheaters at the gym. This is coffee.
Is that coffee?
Wait.
Is it?
Yeah, that's coffee.
Wait, listen. If he has, what did you do about it? You didn't fight him, did he? So But he did look good in Octagon. I thought. Like when I saw the fight, I thought he did look quite good. He was submitting people.
Yeah, but the thing is,
His
Luke,
jiu-jitsu's good.
the thing is, Luke, like them opponents, like they're just not fucking.
Yeah.
They're
UFC
not
different.
comparable
Yeah.
to UFC, are they?
Did you see? He got a fight cancelled once. He kicked a guy at the weigh-in and broke his rib.
Oh my days.
Do you know about that?
Yeah. When they were facing off,
Yeah, he kicked him in the rib and broke his
Yeah.
rib. That
and
is
then
like,
he fucking pulled out, didn't he?
yeah, which is like, it must be so frustrating for Shem that he done that himself. But I think that guy then went and fought a couple of years later and beat him. So the guys he fought in Octagon, as you were saying, they're not anywhere near UFC level. They're guys who are like, yeah, they're barely regional level guys. So it is a big jump up. I think the opponent he had last time was a bigger jump up than the regular UFC debut, and that's why he lost. But yeah, hopefully he gets a win because he is entertaining, whether you like him or not. Like, he is a funny guy, and I think his Twitter's jokes is a bit of a mess. But just having him around the UFC, I'd rather have someone like that than just some random guy who I've never heard of from El Abdul Kareem El Swadi. Is that his name? I have no idea who this guy is. I couldn't care less. I
Thinking
want Shem
about
to win.
adding Michael Conlan to my poly. Yeah, he's fighting Kevin Walsh. Which
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough. I think
Mhm.
he's got a good chance of winning. There's St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, it's St. Patrick's Day today, so yeah, it's there's a lot of Irish fights. Obviously, Kakache fought in the boxing and won. Is there anything else in this card to talk about?
Oh, don't even mention fucking Kakachi. Oh.
Yeah, not. Well, Nick Pete, the most unbiased man ever, who's never been biased towards a Scouser. He fought Jazza Dickens won, surprise, surprise. But I think everyone else, other than that and Craig, he bet on him. I think everyone else was fought Kakachi won. But
Just the comment there. Who's Mick Conlon fighting?
Kevin Walsh.
No idea who that is.
I don't really care about that. What the other fights are women's fights, aren't they?
Yeah, no one cares about that, to be honest.
MVPV is it? Like,
I don't like how
I think I read something about that potential matchup ages ago. I think they're mates though, so they wouldn't fight each other.
yeah, I'm not sure. I think that'd be so boring. They'd stand literally the opposite ends of the octagon, just like shadow boxing.
That would be an absolute stink.
They'd just be fainting, like lifting their leg up and stuff. And
do you guys remember Izzy against Romero? Craig must remember that flip.
Yeah.
And then fucking Romero started screaming at him after it, like, mate, you've just had 25 minutes to fucking hit him.
Funniest fight ever, bro.
Yeah, I mean that wasn't one I watched back.
I mean,
Sorry.
we will be talking about Izzy next week because he's fighting Pfeiffer
Yeah.
next Saturday.
What?
Yeah.
Is that next week? Is it?
Yeah. What's the other fights? Just quickly wrap up with this card.
Let me just go back.
I know it's 2 women's fights. Is this Shauna Bannon? Is she on here? I quite like her if it is her.
Mullins against Carolina and Oliveira against Dyer.
I can't see that. Hang on, scroll down because the comment's in the way. Or remove the comment. Okay, I don't. So Carolina was one Molly McCann chinned. But other than that, I don't really know any of these girls. I don't really care.
English against Brazil for both fights. But yeah, I don't really care. So I'm not gonna...
Yeah, this is the thing with women's sport, especially women's combat sport. It tends to be UK, America, and Brazil are like the only real strong countries. Because I think a lot of, like with Russia and stuff like that, obviously, like Dagestan, they probably don't have women training in the gyms and stuff. So that's why you tend to see mainly fighters from UK, America, and Brazil. But yeah.
I don't bet on women's MMA. I always lose betting. We don't blame you.
Yeah, I only bet on stuff that fighters I know about and fights that I'm going to watch. And I'm not really that interested in women's MMA, to be honest. So yeah.
I think every time I bet on women's MMA, I've lost. Every time.
Do you think we'll see Nina compete? No, but I reckon Laura Sanko, she's a black belt. She could probably fight some of these.
Yeah. No, I'd watch Nina fight somebody just to see her get fucking choked out, man.
Yeah, Hervey Alex Pereira would be a good laugh, but I don't mind Nina. I think she's overhated. I feel like if you don't like her, just kind of ignore it. You know what I mean? I don't watch her content unless it's with Sean Strickland or someone funny.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me, like, but
yeah, I see a lot of people hate her just because she's fit, and it's like it just reminds them of the girl in school who rejected them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, Luke.
Maybe
UFC.
I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't know.
It
have
seemed
we
like
got any boxing this weekend? No.
Not that I'm gonna watch, but there might be.
I think, well, you said Conlon was fighting. I can't think of any. there's some big ones coming up in April. We've obviously got Fury's fighting in a couple of weeks. Wilder Chisora's April 4th, Fury's April 11th. Callum Smith's, I think, end of April, 25th, I think. So there's some big fights in April, but I don't think there's any in March. I think
Thomas
that's
fighting.
28th. That's
Yeah,
28th. Yeah, that's the week after. So yeah, there's no fights this week, but from the week after, there's a lot of big domestic fights, and I've heard a lot of them aren't selling too well, especially Fury v Makhmudov. Apparently, it's like they've only sold about 20k seats out of 65. So
Pereira is currently a minus 120 versus Gain. Cash out, guys. I'll be if you get better on this fight already, or not.
Yeah, well, it's a big fight. I think
I'm not going to bet on that one, mate.
Yeah, I was hoping Pereira would be the underdog and you might get some money on that. But as the favourite, I probably won't bother because I think it's a tough fight for him. It's a real tough fight. I'm not sure who will win either way. So yeah.
Luke backs everyone that's unpopular. I've noticed that too, by the way. He does that a lot.
What?
Conor Ben. We haven't talked about Conor Ben and the way you backed him.
No, Luke just likes to be fucking contradictory.
No, I was anti Conor Ben the whole time. I used to moan about him every week. Then he fucked Eddie Hearn off, and I'm not pro Conor Ben. I just don't like the way Eddie Hearn was playing the victim. He should have just came out and said, yeah, this is what happens. This is business. I fucked over fighters. Fighters have fucked over me. This is a business. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm a strong guy. I'm the bounce back.
Oh, Luke, if the devil himself didn't like Eddie Hearn, you like the devil.
Well, look at the shows he's put on. Did you not see have you not seen who's his next fight? Is it Tyler Denny v I can't remember, some garbage. Every show he puts on is garbage. And they're garbage.
It's not every show, man. Come on.
When was the last time Eddie Hearn had a good domestic show which Turkey didn't pay for? We'll be here for 10 minutes. You're not going to...
Yeah, I don't have a fucking clue.
Exactly. And this is the reason why. Because Eddie, he lives in Monaco, so he doesn't pay any tax in the UK. So you can only come to the UK for like 100 days of the year. I mean, a fight week is a week. So that's 7 days. So he can only put on about 15 cards in the UK a year. He doesn't care anymore. He's more asked about the American markets. Yeah, I couldn't care about Eddie. I'm not going to go on a rant, but I did put something in the group chat, a load of bullet points, everything Eddie's done to destroy British boxing. We'll go on to that in another episode. But yeah, I'm not a fan of Eddie and what he's done for British boxing. I think it's atrocious.
That's really UFC London card in a nutshell. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I think I'll probably watch most. It is either on a Saturday or Friday, depends. But I'll probably catch most of the main cards. But yeah, expecting a good night of fights. Just before we wrap up, there was some kind of big news yesterday. Alex Pereira, he signed an 8-fight contract with the UFC, which basically nails him down until he retires, right? Like 8 fights at 38 is a really large amount.
What it means is
so stupid, man.
It is.
No. What it means is they want him as the face of the heavyweight division.
He's 38, Luke. He's 38.
But let's say Tom Aspinall goes in 2 fights. They want Alex Pereira, those 8 fights to be Cyril Garner and 7 titles. They'll want him to run through that division. That's what they want. They'll be paying him.
What's happened there is they said to him, look, we can give you a 3-fight deal, a 5-fight deal, or an 8-fight deal. And the 8-fight deal has obviously been a lot more attractive than the other 2. You know what I mean?
He's 38. You got to remember, right? Everyone's talking about boxing.
But Luke, he's not gonna fight 8 more times. He'll fight 3-4 more times, and then he's locked down still. He can't go and box. He can't go and do anything else.
Yeah, but what would he get paid in boxing? He probably gets paid more for the UFC now than he get in boxing anyway.
Do you think the UFC will see him as a type of guy who, when he's like near the end of his contract, he can take losses to upcoming heavyweights?
Sure. I mean, but what you got to remember is he's probably going to be washed after like 5 of those fights. So he's going to be getting paid the same amount of money in 6 fights time when he's washed as he's getting paid now as the face of the UFC. So he's going to be getting paid absurd money. They'll want to make him the face of the UFC.
This is when he will finish that contract in super boxing.
You know what? It's not even a crazy shout.
That's not much out.
It's possible, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure how the contracts work that way. And Dana could probably... No, because he definitely... I don't know how it'd work. But
no, of course it might work that way. There's definitely a possibility there. Like,
I don't think that... People are talking about boxing, though. There's not... Unless he fights Fury or AJ, who will be long gone by then, I don't really see them. I don't think there's really that much money in boxing for him at all. It's the same with.
We Fight All Night should do betting odds updates and tips for the channel. Listen, if you guys want to do your own betting on odds update show, Please.
Exactly, mate. We should get him on and talk about the odds and stuff, make everyone rich. But yeah, I think with Alex Pereira, everyone's thought he's probably getting paid 8 figures. He'll be getting paid 10 mil plus a fight now.
Is this true, by the way? Did Jones also sign an 8-fight deal?
Probably, and he
Is that
probably
why
got.
he's so pissed? That's why he's so pissed.
No, I think.
Yeah, but
he's
this is
got,
the thing with John
no,
Jones.
I
He's
think he's
asking
only
to
got.
be released,
I
but
think
he's
he's got 2
turned
or 3
down
left on the
fights.
contract now.
I don't know, but John Jones is crying, saying that he wants to be released. But they've offered him fights, he's turned them down. He happily signed an 8-fight deal, and now he's like crying to be released. So I don't care. Well, also, right, MMA news quickly before we wrap up. So Jake Paul's Netflix supercard full of granddads and grannies has got another couple of granddads on there, and that's Nate Diaz and Mike Perry. I don't know if you've seen that.
That's gonna be a scrap. I mean, I know it's old men
Will
and
it?
no one really cares about. It will be a scrap. Diaz and
Mate.
Perry will scrap for them entire.
Nate Diaz's last few fights are just him walking around, throwing up gang signs and like mouthing people off. It's not going to be a scrap.
It will be.
It's 5 rounds as well.
That will be a scrap. That.
Yeah.
Well, the Nate Diaz fight,
Yeah.
he'll be gassed after a round, and it'll be 4 rounds of him walking around, showboating, throwing up gang signs, saying, mouthing off at the camera. It would just be. I think it'll just be like the Tony Ferguson fight again.
Yeah, but mate,
His last MMA fight.
Mike Perry's not exactly Muhammad Ali, is he? Do you know what I mean?
Perry is not good. That's why. That's why it'll be such an entertaining fight because both of them are just brawlers, and I think
Perry's a better boxer, isn't he? Nate has got good boxing, but I'd say Perry's a better boxer, and then Nate's jiu-jitsu is very good, but his wrestling was never that good. So
I don't think
UFC
Perry's a better boxer than Nate Diaz.
Well,
I think
right
Nate Diaz is a really good boxer. I don't mind
Right
now.
now. I'd favour Mike Perry on the stand-up right now, just because he's been active in bare knuckle. He's been doing quite well there. I think he's definitely. Well, I'd say he's probably got the cardio advantage as well. I'd favour him to, if the fight stays on the feet, which I think it will, because Nate's not got great wrestling. I think Perry can win that.
Since he left UFC, he's lost to Jake Paul, beat Jorge Masvidal in 2024. Who again, Jorge isn't really a bad boxer, is he? So
yeah, but that was a stinker. No.
It was, and Mike. I mean, this is his first MMA fight since he left the UFC. So I'm expecting a brawl.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be an absolute crap fight. I'll be honest. I think they're both going to be gassed. I think the Ngannou fight, I'm kind of interested in to see him. I thought he looked good about. Yeah, he looked good in that fight against Renan Ferreira in PFL, but I don't really care because of his opponent. And the main event, the women's fight, I could not care any less about.
How have you all talked about Conor Nate? Listen, me, I think a lot of us here were saying if the UFC want to have a fight for Conor to come back, it should be that Nate fight. And
it's 2026. Who cares?
I don't care if it's 2029. There were talks about this fight happening, and like I said, there were going to always be fights. Now the fact that Nate's fighting on this card, yeah, that's gone out the window.
I'm so bored.
Conor ain't getting the fight with Nate because that fight's out the window. And another thing is, Nate's not going to want to fight for more than a fight to the UFC, and we know with UFC contracts they don't normally give a 1-fight contract. So he knew if he did fight against Conor, he's gonna add 2-3 more fights to his deal.
I think it's pointless talking about it. He's obviously never coming back. I just have zero. Nate's last few UFC fights, which were years ago, they were just so boring and bad. I'm just fed up with everyone sucking him off and being like, thinking he's the coolest guy ever. I like him, and I liked him back in the day. I thought his fights were fun. He's got a cool personality, but it's 2026. I don't want to see him fight in the UFC. It's just as simple as that. I'm not really interested in this fight with Mike Perry. I'll probably watch it, but I'm not expecting it to be anything good.
So you'll watch it, but
I won't pay for it though. I'm not paying for Netflix for that.
It's on Netflix. Do you have Netflix?
No. I bought it for the Tyson Fury. So I watched the Louis Theroux documentary, and then that month will then end with Tyson Fury, Makhmudov. So I paid for it watching the Fury fight, but I'm not paying for it for Nate Diaz.
Copy said yeah, and we will love every minute of it.
It's gonna be, trust me or not, after like the first 3 minutes, you're just gonna be so bored that everyone will go, "Oh, that was shit."
Rousey wins Rambo. I mean, probably.
Well, the girl she's fighting hasn't fought in like 20 years. So again, I just don't get who cares. And I'm pretty sure that event ticket-wise isn't doing very well either because none of these fights matter. They're not top fighters. They're just washed guys. It's like the GFL.
That card will do well. I'm not gonna lie, especially because it's on Netflix and it's really accessible too.
It'll do well view-wise on Netflix because people don't want to pay for stuff, and a lot of people don't know how to use live streams. So if you put it on Netflix, like the Jake Paul fights, they're going to do well. But in terms of tickets, I wouldn't be surprised if that arena is nowhere near full because people are not going to want to pay to watch that.
In my opinion, it's got some of the biggest MMA names. I mean,
Has
Nate
it?
Diaz, Ronda Rousey. I mean, yes, obviously it does.
Would you say Ronda Rousey in 2026?
Ronda Rousey is still no matter what, no matter where and what
Of
decade it
course,
is.
it matters. She was relevant.
Ronda Rousey is still a big name.
She was 10 years ago.
MMA.
Now she just pops up on podcasts.
But
No, it
that
doesn't
doesn't
get
matter.
much attention. Then people go, "Oh, I don't really like
She
her."
still has. I still think she's got mainstream attention because she had a stint in wrestling. I mean, she's coming back to wrestling now. AEW. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
She's getting involved in AEW too. So she's still popular figure in 2026. Nate Diaz is going to always be popular, and again, Francis Ngannou is always going to be a
Was
big
Nate
name.
Diaz's
So,
boxing match against Masvidal that popular?
because it was a stink about that fight, people are still looking forward to it. But, I mean, I don't know if you were, but I think
Nate,
overall,
because it's in California, I think, so Nate will probably sell all the tickets. But other than that, Ngannou is probably the only guy I really care about on that card. And even him, he's like 40 now. He's just kind of done, isn't he? I was tempted to get a Fire Stick, but I've got most the subscriptions anyway. I just don't have Netflix, but I'm not really a movies guy. But yeah, I think Ngannou. I don't. I'll watch him, but the rest of it, I just don't care. They're all just like granddads, and people won't want to pay for that.
I think Netflix are doing a really good job, or more like MVP are doing a really good job trying to stack this card with as many big names as they can because is it a month before the White House card?
Yeah, I mean you can't compare that to the White House card. Bloody hell.
People will watch this, but if history repeats itself, MVP goes a bit of this goes. It always happens.
But MVP can't because they're overpaying and they're putting on women's fights. And long term, Netflix aren't going to want to put on events which aren't doing well numbers wise.
MVP won't have cards weekly though, will they? It'll be like one in a 6 months thing, maybe.
All their roster are women or prospects, and no one knows who the prospects are. The women are all champions, but they're not. No one's interested. We've seen people try and fail plenty of times. They'll get a Sky Sports deal. I think Turkey with Zuffer will get a Sky Sports deal as well. So Sky will have MVP and Zuffer on there. But I think the Zuffer fights will just get watched way more. But yeah, I don't really see MVP. The problem with Netflix as well, right? Well, you got to remember, Netflix is a publicly traded company on the stock market. So me and you could go and buy shares in Netflix. So if Netflix start pissing around, wasting money on like these kinds of cards, which people aren't watching, if they don't do well, you could hypothetically go and you could be speaking at a meeting or an AGM, whatever, and say, well, hang on a minute, I'm investing my money in you and you're wasting it on this. And they'll have to answer to the public. So they can't just spunk money. Like people are saying they're giving Jake Paul 100 mil a fight and all this is nonsense. They're in the business. And I think if it doesn't make sense and doesn't make money, they're not going to just put stuff on for the sake of it.
I think Netflix are in a safe, especially with the wrestling. They've got that wrestling deal for the next 10 years. And
oh yeah, Netflix are fine. Like as a company, Netflix will be around for. I think they dominate that sort of region. But in terms of events, like they're not going to be happy if Fury Makhmudov flops if they're paying, and they're under a lot of pressure for these events to succeed. And I think they're probably going to end up going more towards the Premier League and football and stuff like that. I think boxing's more them trying stuff out because with boxing, if you pay for a big event, for example, let's say Fury Makhmudov is one event, you only have to commit to one event. You sort of test things out, try graphics, try camera angles, and I think their production's really good. So then that when it comes to Premier League and there's 10 games on a week, that's obviously a much bigger job to do 10 events a week. So I think boxing it will have a place, but I think at the moment it's more of just Netflix testing out live sport.
If Diaz wanted to do Raw Dog, you and Dumper Lord, would you let him if he said it was important for his training? Luke, you can answer this.
Why would I let him do that? Would you?
No.
Well, it's important for his training. Don't you want to win?
I heard Netflix requested to have Fury. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, yeah, he's probably still the biggest name in boxing, isn't he? Certainly up there. I think this fight though is just a waste of time. Makhmudov, this isn't a title fight or a number one contender fight. It's just a tune-up fight, and I think that's why the tickets aren't doing very well. They've had to absolutely stack the card, and I reckon they might stick Johnny Fisher on that just because he obviously sells thousands of tickets himself. So I think if Johnny Fisher's on the card, that's when you know it. They're desperate for tickets.
I mean, they did put Conor Ben on the card because there were no other names on that card, and they need to stack the card.
Well, that's what they'll do. They'll just have to stack it with guys who sell tickets because it'll be embarrassing for them if that's like half empty, and there's a good chance it will be. I think the top sort of tier, that's probably going to be empty, and it's going to be a bad look for Fury and a bad look for Turkey and the whole event. So I think that they definitely misjudged it, putting it in the stadium. They also misjudged it with the timings of lots of other big fights. So yeah, I think that's something they'll learn from going forwards. But again, Fury's ego is probably too big to fight in an arena. He has to fight at stadiums, doesn't he?
Yeah, definitely. And this is definitely a tune-up fight. I see him winning it comfortably, and I really hope we do get that. I mean, 5 years ago, yeah, sure, would have been much better, but I still hope we get that AJV Fury fight
Yeah,
sometime.
I mean, it should have been
This year,
10 years
maybe
ago.
maybe
But this Makhmudov
10
guy, we
years
saw him
back.
against Dave Allen. He is not good at all. Like, he looked really bad
Yeah,
against
he's
Dave
not
Allen. So, I mean, there's talk of, as we're talking about boxing quick, there's talk of AJ fighting Dillian White. That's
Oh
the
my day.
rumor going around. That's the rumor going around. Obviously, they had that fight in, was it 2015 or 2016? And at the time, that was a massive fight, and they built it up because Dillian White's first amateur fight was against AJ, and he beat him. So in his debut, he beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs. And since then, since AJ's gone pro, Dillian White's whole career has basically been, he's the guy who beat AJ in the amateurs. We're going to push him and we're going to set up this massive fight. And then they had their big fight. AJ won. And since then, his career, he sort of floated around. But the last few years, he's absolutely finished. He was supposed to fight AJ a couple of years ago, and that would have been a layup. He pulled out because he failed a drugs test. And since then, he's got even worse. We just saw Atoma flatten him. He's struggled with these sort of journeyman guys. Dillian White is not. He's just done. But the problem is all these old guys, White, Chisora, Wilder, there's like 10 of them. AJ's one of them, I'd argue. They're washed, but because they're big names, somehow they can still just like float around and earn $1 million a fight. It's ridiculous. I don't know how boxing's in this situation, but they just haven't. There's no young guys coming through really kicking them out. They've allowed them to stay around because there's no young talent. And I think the heavyweight divisions are a really bad state.
Yeah, completely agree with you. And I'm not really looking forward to the heavyweight fights in the next 2-3 months. But
Wardley
I'll probably
Dubois
watch
is a
it.
banger though.
That's probably the only one where I'm like, yeah.
I
I'll
think
probably watch
Frank's been forced to make that fight though, because everything at the moment in boxing, and if Turkey's not going to fund him, he's had to put his two big dogs against each other and make them fight because he's got to make a splash, hasn't he? And I think that's the fight to do. And you look at all the talk in boxing at the moment. There's a risk that Turkey drowns Eddie and the Frank out, so he's had to put on that fight just to put on a big event. But yeah, to be honest, right, Carvey's put that comment there. I think AJ could legitimately lose to a lot of people who are ranked outside the top 20, like he's done. But I don't think White's one of those guys. I think White's even more finished. A lot of these fights are between the two old people, as we're saying. It's just who has more left in the tank, who's got more juice to squeeze out of them. And I think his juice got squeezed a long time ago. Now he's just an empty lemon. That's all it is.
I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything from UFC to boxing. But yeah, I mean, listen, it was great having Craig and Luke on for this episode talking about the UFC London card. The chat's been great. We've been interacting with you guys, so I really appreciate it. Especially We Fight All Night TV. You've kept the chat alive for pretty much 1.5 hours, so we do really appreciate the follow and the interaction. I mean, we could have done a watch along, but it is Eid for me on the weekend, so it'll be hard to put watch along in. But for some of the other UFC cards, for the UFC White House, that's a card I definitely want to do watch along for. Probably the Hamza v Sean card too. These are cards that look really
The Australia
good. So
card to be at UK time as well.
that one, I think, is prime time UK. Probably, I think it's like 9 o'clock on the main card. So
I think it's the afternoon, but yeah.
Yeah. So again, on the weekend, that's a card we could probably do a watch along.
We could do a reaction to the London card on the Saturday night.
I was just gonna say that straight after the UFC card, we could just go live and for like an hour just talk about the fight instead of waiting for 2-3 days to do it. We could do that as a separate.
I'm really excited for that. This London card is going to be good. I think the main card, the fights aren't that even, but you're going to get some exciting finishes, some highlight reel knockouts, and then the prelims. I think there are some really good, tasty fights, especially Woodcaser and Jones Solar. So yeah, it's a good card. I'm looking forward to it. One of the best of the year.
But yeah, I mean, we've pretty much waffled for nearly an hour and a half. We'll be back here, like Luke said, probably on Saturday. If it's just me and him, anyways, we'll just cover the UFC London card as a whole. Then we'll do an episode on a Monday or a Tuesday, probably a Monday. We'll have Izzy v Pfeiffer to look forward to that fight night card. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Luke, if you got any last words.
yeah, just make sure you guys watching it, you're liking, you're subscribing, you're commenting, you're sharing, doing all that good stuff, helping the channel grow. We haven't really. I think we were expecting to have more stuff come out. I think more different content. We've done some live streams. There's not too much we've got planned coming up, but we'll think of some good ideas. We'll try and mix it up, trying to do something
Yeah,
different.
I think we've got some good ideas for like a UFC draft, which I haven't really seen much. Rankings, we're doing the striker one, so maybe we'll do some other kind
Yeah,
of variety of
we'll
UFC.
have some short form videos because at the moment I think these long form videos, obviously, for some of you watching, they might be entertaining. Some people pop in and out, but I think the short form videos are what does well and what people want to see. So we'll get some of them pumping out and see how they do.
Yeah, but I think it was a good idea turning to live streams for these long reviews because the quick, like today's went 1.5 hour, the one last week went like 1.5 hours. So if we do want to just talk about fights, it's easy to go live. But yeah, like Luke said, we definitely have some short form videos come out if there's a rank or rankings or even other UFC type videos. But yeah, I think that's been me and Luke today. We'll see you on Saturday potentially, and take care.